Hello and welcome to the stock specific class here for Thursday, June the 10th. I apologize ahead of time. I was hoping to be able to do the class live at the regular scheduled time, but my schedule, I told you I was out of town this week and my schedule's kind of out of whack, and I had to do the class earlier on Tuesday, and I'm actually having to start it about a half hour early today. So there will probably be some of you that join in and see that the class is already going on. I'll try to make a comment at the top of the hour, not to panic, that the recording will be available soon, that you'll be able to catch the early part of it if you missed it. But as far as the market update part is concerned, we're finally seeing the S&P break out, and that's something we've talked about. We were anticipating, I said on Tuesday, based on where we were, and we'll look at the charts here in just a second, that we were likely to break out. Now it's just a matter of do we start to build some momentum to the upside? Do we get to piece together 3 or 4 days in a row where we move up and start getting movement in these stocks, in consistent movement in that direction? We've seen a lot of whipsawing and a lot of real flat, low volume days lately, and it'd be nice to see a little bit of conviction. I've talked about this. I said, I don't care where the market goes, but I want to see some conviction behind it. I want to see some direction, even if it's down. In fact, I think a down market, at least over the last little bit, would have been better to pull back a little bit and have prices come back a little bit and give people a better reason to buy or be more comfortable to buy. That could generate a little bit more of that aggressive buying that drives prices higher, but we didn't get that, and we're breaking out right now. We'll see if this lasts at least a few days or so, and can give us some opportunities here. With the breakout, though, we're still looking at a kind of a tired market condition based on these indicators right here. We're also not showing any extreme overbought conditions. Momentum still in the buy area. Breadth is backed off a little bit into the trending area from the last update. Sentiment is actually backed off from extreme, but it's still high, but not again, not overbought or extreme to the level that we'd expect an imminent pullback. Buy sell ratios are still widening a little bit there, and they're starting to approach a little bit of a extreme, but you can see back here, this is a little bit more of the extreme range that we saw earlier, late in the year last year, earlier in the year this year, and we're not there yet. And this is where we had a lot of the whipsaw conditions where we went back and forth. So again, not showing extreme there. The sentiment had been inching its way towards extreme, but it's not there yet either. Let's look at the individual charts. Let me switch this over to candlesticks here. You can see we're just starting to break out. And even if we do close off the highs of the day, we have broken out to a new all-time high. We'll see if we have a new closing high, all-time closing high, but at least we'll have a new all-time high here. And that was the first index to do that. The others have been lagging a little bit. Dow, you can see, is still a little ways away from, not too far, but a little ways away from going to its all-time high. But you see this kind of back and forth movement over the last couple of weeks. That's just a consolidation. The previous move before that was up, so we would expect the next move after that sideways move is done to be up. At least that's what the probability would suggest. The Qs had a pretty good day today. They're getting pretty close to breaking out again to a new all-time high. It looks like they're working their way up towards that now. The Russell is lagging a little bit today, but yesterday it kind of broke out of, or actually Tuesday, a couple of days ago, we actually broke out of, this. There's some resistance right into here that we broke out of. We came up to very close to the new all-time high in the Russell. We pulled back the last couple of days, but I think ultimately it's working its way towards that. We'll get new all-time highs in the Russell as well. So those are the basic market conditions there. I pointed out on Tuesday that the bonds were looking like they could be ready to break out. They're bumped up right against this resistance right here, and then we did end up breaking out to a higher high. That gives us a higher low. So we're kind of we could be in a little bit of a trend reversal on bonds. I don't know if that'll be, if this is just a bearish ABC pattern correcting that longer move down that we had, and then we'll resume a downtrend. It's hard to be overly bullish on bonds based on the conditions, but one thing to keep in mind is that the charts will often reverse before the conditions or the sentiment follows, meaning sometimes the chart will be showing a trend reversal and you'll be like, well, I don't trust this trend reversal. Why would anyone be bullish on bonds right now? But that's exactly the feeling at a bottom, is that no one's going to feel like it's at a bottom yet. Everyone's going to feel like it's going to keep going down. And it's usually pretty subtle. And so that's why it's important to recognize these little clues, because if this keeps going up and then pulling back and having higher highs, higher lows, at some point you got to recognize that, that you're in a trend reversal and this is now an uptrend. And it doesn't mean you have to, it doesn't mean I have to go buy bonds if I still am skeptical, but at least I wouldn't want to be shorting them if the trend is acting like an uptrend. If it's acting like an uptrend, you don't want to go against that. And I'm going to just skip down. We usually don't go through the whole list here on Thursdays, but I just want to take a peek at the VIX. The VIX started to move up a little bit over the little pullback last couple of days, but with the rally today, it's dropped back down. So that's a good sign as far as reading kind of what the professional traders aren't really worried about the recent pullback. At least that's being reflected in the VIX. And it looks like they're fairly confident that the market will move higher. All right, let's get into some individual stocks as part of the stock specific class today. We go into, again, I've been focusing a lot on computer and technology. That's what I'm going to kind of focus on today. That's moved up the list pretty rapidly, and there's a lot of good patterns in there. One that we talked about on Tuesday under the hold section right here was this O2 Micro, ticker symbol is OIIM, 94 strength rank, but you can see there's not a lot there in that 98 strength rank category there. There was one right here, but I didn't like the chart on it. And it's actually a smaller company too, and so I kept kind of going down the list here, but I still like this OIIM. Let's pull up the chart here on it. Let's switch this back to signals here. And again, what I liked about it is that a lot of these stocks are looking like they're moving towards the right side of a bowl-shaped move. You had kind of a double bottom down here. Now, we haven't gone to a higher high right here, and I pointed that out on Tuesday. We started to get a little bit of a buy signal right here when we pulled back. And we are down a little bit the last couple of days, but I still like it. There's some support right in this area here. You'd like to see that kind of hold, so I'd really like to see this thing start moving up from here. If it dips down again tomorrow, I probably won't like it. I'd probably pass on it, move on. But it's still right at a key support level that could hold. And we're waiting for it to go back to a buy signal anyway. But if it goes back to a buy signal and breaks to a higher high right here, that's a really good sign. And again, the potential here, I keep emphasizing this, is that these stocks could move back up to their previous all-time highs. And, that's a pretty good move, from $7 up to $10, $3 move on that stock, almost, probably, about a little over a 50% move if it can make that move. So there's a lot of potential there. And some of these have potential if they move back to their new all-time highs or recent highs to double in price. So that's why I like some of these patterns here, the way they're developing. So that's one I like. And like I said, I pointed that one out on Tuesday as well. Another one under computer and technology under the hold section is this SYPR. It's a 94 strength rank as well. And again, you had this big run up right here, and then it pulled back from that. And then, it's tried to rally a few times, went a little bit lower right here, tried to rally. But here it went to, again, lower low right here. And here it appears to have a higher low. And through here, this little support area right here. And, you can even look at intraday highs. That went to a higher intraday high right there after this big pullback from this high. So you got a little kind of subtle clue that this thing could be turning the corner, moving to the right side. Here's another one that if it takes off again, it can move up. It can almost double in price to where it was at its all-time high. Now, a lot of these stocks, sometimes you'll see these stocks do this where there'll be a no-name company back here, then something happens that triggers the buying. You get a spike, and then sometimes these stocks, they can't hold it and they come all the way back down. That's not a good sign if they come all the way back down to the previous trading range it was in. But notice how this didn't come all the way back down. It's kind of held up here. It's in a new range up here. And then within that range, we're kind of noticing that subtle, it went to a lower low right there, but now it looks like a higher low. We're looking for higher highs. It just recently, actually, if it closes today where it's at, it'll flip to a buy signal. And if you're looking at ways to manage the trade too, that's a key low right there. If it dipped back below that low, now you've gone back down to a lower low. That's not a good sign. But the upside potential there, like it says, it could get back up to where its previous all-time high was. And so I like that pattern there on SYPR. Let's look at another one here. Down the list a little bit further, 91 strength rate, but this UMC, this is a chips company, Semiconductor. And you've got some wild swings here. The stock made a big run up right here, then it came crashing down, then it ran back up to that previous high, had a double top right here, came back down, you had a double bottom down here. And so basically what I'm looking at here is just a strategy of playing the range. It's developed this new range that it's in. It recently confirmed that lower part of the range by forming that double bottom. It's had a little bit of run up right here, and it's pulled back. Now it's moving up today, giving that a higher low. And we haven't gone to a higher, we're looking to go to a higher high from this high right here, just in the very near term, acting like an uptrend. But the idea here is that the stock could be working its way back up to its previous all-time high. And so there's a lot of potential there for it to, move from, $9.40 stock up to $11.30 stock where that previous high was. I just like the reward to risk here. You can probably even put a stop below yesterday's low. It does look like a higher low right there. And that doesn't hold. If it reverses and comes back down, then it could be something you can use as a stop if you wanted to do that. It hasn't gone back to a buy signal yet, but and that could be additional confirmation. But it's really close. Another up day, and it'll trigger a buy signal on that one. Another one under computer and technology. Again, a lot of these I like under this sector here, but this BILI. It's a 90 strength rank. That's about as low as I'd like to go in most cases. But again, I like the chart. Got a little bit of a potential. You can call this a little bit of a double bottom right there. It did go a little bit lower right there, but you also have what looks like a little bit of a head and shoulders formation right here. And the bottom line is you've dropped and you've kind of held the support, and you might be working your way back up this right side of the bowl, so to speak. that's moved far enough today where it's actually, it'll probably trigger a buy signal tomorrow. You could wait for a little bit of additional confirmation for, you have the higher low right here. You could wait to see if you can get a higher high right there, or to break out above this high. It just depends on how much, I talk about this all the time, it just depends on how much confirmation you want. The more confirmation you get, the stronger the likelihood that trend is underway, but you give up the move of the trend, you give up some of the move, some of the profits, potential profits. And in some cases, when the trend is so obvious, by the time it's obvious and you're totally confident the trend is up, it could be when it reverses. And so, you just have to decide how much confirmation you're looking for. But that one looks like it has some potential there. And again, I like these that have come off their highs and look like they're bottoming out. You see that common theme. You're going to see that probably a lot over the next little bit, because there's a lot of stocks that are kind of forming that bowl-shaped move. It's one of my favorite patterns to trade. Now, to switch over, I still want to stay in the same sector, but I want to take a look at some of in the buy section right here, because some of them either just triggered a buy signal and they're still good, or they've been in a buy signal and maybe they pull back a little bit and can provide an additional entry. One of those right at the top of the list, 99 strength rank, is Blink Charging Company. We pointed this one out as a hold to buy before. BLNK is the ticker symbol. I mentioned this one, I think back, it was a hold right here. It looked like it was, the same thing I've talked about, had double bottom, looked like it's kind of turning the corner here. Now it did break out above this high, went to a higher high, and then the last 3 days it's kind of pulled, or last 2 days in particular, it's kind of pulled back a little bit. But I still like it. And now, because it's already a buy signal, you could look at that as a reason to go ahead and get in, or you could just, you don't know how deep this could be. This could pull back and maybe even drop down to this previous area right here, give you an inverse head and shoulders pattern. You could even just wait to see if it breaks to a higher high here. If it goes back to a higher high as confirmation, but we're close enough to that first buy signal after the hold that, in fact, if this went to a buy signal, the next day it would have triggered the signal, right? So you would have probably gotten in on that day right there. And with today's low, you're basically right where you would have gotten that signal. You would have been entering it right the same price area as that signal. So anyway, that's something you could consider. And again, I point this out. I don't always go back into the buy section, because in most really strong trends, you're going to find enough in the hold section that where you can build a watch list and wait for them to go from hold to buy. But I like to occasionally check in the hold section, especially with some of the high strength ranked stocks, to see if there's a re-entry possibility, or that it's still close enough to where it went to a buy signal that you could still get in if you missed it the first time. Another one, I think I pointed this one out on Tuesday, was the CBATs, CBAC Energy Technologies, 97 strength rank. Kind of the same thing. Again, it barely went to the opening. It went to a higher high on the opening yesterday, but then it sold off. It's closed down here, and it's down a little bit today. But this is another one where, again, it looks like it's on the right side of the upswing. It's still in the area where I'd like it as a buy. And again, this is one you can wait for it to see if it rebounds and goes back up to a new high, to a higher high right here. It's confirmation, whatever you want to do. I like that one as well. Let's switch over into the transportation sector. There's one I like in here under the hold section. And that's this SBLK, Star Bulk Carriers, 90 strength rank. But again, you don't have a lot of high strength rank stocks in here. So pattern's good. We'll consider it. And I like the pattern. You have this, looks like an ABC pullback right here after this breakout move right here. This is another one that should trigger a buy signal tomorrow. Excuse me. But it looks like it's heading higher. And then let's finish off here. Industrial products. Again, we talked about this in the last couple updates on Alcoa here. It's an 88 strength rank. It's a little low. I like the pattern here. And as long as this kind of holds as a higher low right here, it had a little bit of a bullish candle on Tuesday that I liked, but in the last couple of days, it's just kind of been flat, down a little bit to flat. So we still haven't really established that higher low yet. If this thing can go back to a buy signal, though, from here, I'm sure it would. And I think this thing could start taking off as well. And then in this section, I also went under the buy section as well, under industrial products. This is one I pointed out a while back, Plug Power, 96 strength rank, PLUG is the ticker symbol. Again, you're seeing just a common theme here, big drop down here, but now it looks like it's moving back up. It went to a higher high right here. It's pulled back a little bit right here. Could even be putting in a higher low. But it looks like it's giving it kind of another chance again. You can see the upside potential there if it works its way back up to its previous all-time high. So I still like that one. And then one last one just below it. This IPWR, Ideal Power Incorporated, IPWR. Now, this one, that's a sharp pullback here. There's a little bit of support from back here when it was moving sideways. I'd want that to hold. We're right at it, so we'll keep an eye on that. But you can see it did have lower highs, lower lows, broke out to a higher high right here, had a higher low with this consolidation right here, went to a higher high. And that's what I'm worried about, is with this consolidation giving you a higher low. I don't want to go to a lower low and reverse that. But this would be one you probably want to wait for a little bit of confirmation on. Maybe have it hold this support area right here, and then see if it can work its way back up to that previous high right there. But again, if it can, I like the upside potential there again. It could work its way back up to new all-time highs again, and it's about a double, or more than a double. Well, actually about a double in price from where it's at. Actually, more than a double from where it's at. So there's a lot of upside potential, very low downside risk. So we'd like to see a lot of times as much as possible. All right, so that does it with the individual stocks. Now the training I'm going to do today is going to build a little bit on the training I did on Tuesday. Like I said, I'm out of town this week, and so I didn't want to. I still want to do a few more candlestick patterns, but I didn't want to have to rush them. I want to spend enough time on them to make sure we understand them. Now on Tuesday, the training was a little bit more basic. We talked about setting up an alert where you can get an email alert. By the way, I set that up on AMPG and PRTY. We pulled those ones up here. AMPG. This is one we liked on Tuesday. Let me switch this back to signals here. And I set up an alert, and I got that alert that evening, Tuesday evening, because it was already at a buy signal, but we didn't know if it was going to close at a buy signal. Remember, those alerts are going to be based on the close. After the close, it was a buy. It sent me the email. And just to show you what that looks like, the email, this is what the email looks like. This is PRTY's. It just a basic alert. It said the ticker symbol PRTY signal change from hold to buy. And so, I don't, if I have all these stocks I'm watching or keep an eye on, and it'll tell me when they go to hold to buy, and I can make that decision to to go ahead and get in them. And that's again, it helps kind of automate the process a little bit for you. I did warn you though, you don't want to have too many alerts to where you're getting, 20 or 30 alerts a day or something. You'll tend to ignore them or not even look at them, and you'll miss good opportunities because of that. Try to be a little bit more selective. I'm having a little bit of audio issues here. Let me see if I can fix that. Give me a second here to see if I can switch. A little bit of the audio issue on Tuesday too. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to see if I can just switch over onto my phone again. I think that's what I did last time. Oh, we got the, okay, we got it back here. We're good. Just want to make sure the audio isn't messed up on here. All right. So let's keep going here. So anyway, that's how the alerts will go out. Now, I did get a question on, I went over setting up watch lists, but I just basically went over it on Tuesday, but I did have a question on how to set that up. I kind of went over it a little bit quickly. So what I thought I'd do is just kind of spend a little bit of time showing you how to set up a watch list or set up different watch lists and the purposes for them. You can name those watch lists whatever you'd like, but I'll show you how to set it up, and then we'll also add some alerts as well. So you can kind of reinforce what you learned on Tuesday. Now, some of you, this will be real basic. You already know this, and that's fine. This is really geared towards the real beginning trader that needs a little bit of extra help here and visual help on how to set this up, because they're the ones that are going to probably use the alerts the most. They're not looking to become professional traders. They want just the system to tell them what to do, the service to tell them what to do, and that's a big part of that, is trying to automate the whole process and help kind of steer you towards those stocks that are outperforming the market. So first of all, as far as setting up a watch list, like I said on Tuesday, you can kind of name it whatever you want. I think what we're going to do today is we're going to do two watch lists. One, we're going to set up that we're going to call it the 98 watch list, meaning these are stocks that hopefully have a 98 strength rank or pretty close to it, that we're looking to go from hold to buy. We're going to put stocks in there that have a hold signal. We're waiting for them to go to buy, and then we're going to set up an alert to email us when they go from hold to buy. And then the second watch list I'm going to set up is a trades watch list, so that when we do get into the trade, we can move that stock from the 98 watch list, where we're waiting to get into the trade, into the trade watch list. And I'm going to show you how you can then set up an alert to tell you when that stock goes from buy to sell, because that could be your exit strategy to get out of that stock, is when it finally goes from buy to sell, whether that's for a profit or for a loss. Sometimes it might turn around immediately and go back to sell, and you'd be getting out for a loss. But I'll show you how you can set up an alert there to where you just let this thing run, and when it goes back to that sell signal, you're going to get out, and it'll actually alert you when it goes to that sell signal. And so You can basically your system at night is moving stocks in and out of these watch lists and then placing the trades, just placing the trades, just a real automated process. We're not taking up a lot of time each day to do that. So first of all, let's set up a watch list here and walk through that process. By the way, I'm going to have some people be joining here in a second. My original plan today was to be able to start the update on time. As you know, Tuesdays I had to do earlier in the day, and you probably viewed the recording of that because I had to do it. I'm out of town this week, and so my schedule's pretty chaotic. I'll be back to normal next week, so that's the good news. But I was trying to start at the regular start time today, but I had to push it up a half hour. So I've already kind of gone over the market update and the individual stocks, the stock specific stocks that I wanted to go through today. I'm going to go through the trading right now, but just keep in mind that recording will be available soon, that you can review what I went through earlier, and really not anything too much in addition to what we talked about on Tuesday, except for the fact that the S&P 500 is breaking out today to a new all-time high. Hopefully it holds that. But as far as the individual stocks, you can pick those up in that update and look at potentially what you want to do tomorrow with those. So anyway, let's go into creating a watch list here. You're going to click on the watch list tab, which is right here. And we need to create a new watch list, so we're going to add a tab right here. By the way, if you get too many of them, that you can start deleting them as well. Delete the whole tab if you want to, but we're going to add a tab right here. And it's going to ask you to name it. We're going to name this one 98 for 98 strength rank. We're looking for stocks that have a 98 strength rank or close to that. That we want to look to go from, that have a nice chart pattern that we look to go from hold to buy as our signal to get in. So we're going to call it 98. This one 98. It'll show up right here. So here's our 98 watch list. And so as we were going through our stocks today in the computer technology under the hold section right here, well, one of them we were looking at from Tuesday was this OIIM. I want to add this. I'm looking at the chart. I like the chart. I want to add it to that watch list. This is kind of what I went over a little bit on Tuesday. But to add it to that new watch list, you're going to click on this green plus button right here. And you'll notice that plus button was also on the I'll show you when we go to the sector list there, where you can it's just a shortcut. But typically you're going to be looking at the chart and decide that you want to add this to your watch list. So that makes more sense to be doing this from the chart. But you click on this little plus signal, the green one. You see how when you put your mouse on it, the pop-up menu box says add to watch list. So it tells you that you have the right one. This one's add to portfolio. This blue one here, but we're going to click on the green one, add to watch list. It's going to ask you what watch list you want to add it to. So on this drop down box right here, we're going to select the 98. And then we're going to click save. We want to save it to that watch list. Then we're going to do the next one that we did under the hold section on computer technology, which was this SYPR. And remember, this one's might end up at a buy signal at the end of the day today. So it should trigger an email by tonight. If it holds that, so you should get an email by tonight. So click on add to watch list here. We're going to want to select our 98 watch list and then save. The other one was UMC. under sectors, under the hold section of computer and technology. There's UMC right here, but this is what I was talking about before. You could just add it to the watch list right from this list here. And I can click right on that green. I'm going to do that here just to save a little time. Click on the green button, add to watch list. I want to add it to that 98 watch list. Click on save. Let's do a different sector here real quick. Let's go into that transportation sector. And I liked the no wait, where is it? Hold on, let's see. Oh, there is SBLK. I thought, where'd SBLK go? There's SBLK right here. And again, this is one that you should get an email tonight that holds. Let's add that to the watch list. All right, so we've added our stocks to our watch list. If you go under watch list, the watch list tab again, and you click on that 98 right here. You can see those stocks that we added to that watch list. Now, by the way, I'm just showing you a couple watch lists you can set up, just some ideas. You might want to, this could take a little bit of time, but it's kind of handy. I've gone through and I've set up a watch list of the Dow 30, the 30 Dow stocks. So if I want to, if the Dow average looks like it could go up, and I want to trade some strong looking stocks or good patterns within the Dow list there, I can go and go through my watch list of those Dow stocks. Now, if you don't know what stocks are in the Dow, just Google the Dow 30 stocks or something like that, and it'll show you what stocks are in the Dow 30. And so just Google that. You can use that to build your list. I've got, this took a little bit more time, but I put in the whole Nasdaq 100. And so the benefit of that is I can just scroll down through, and if the QQQ looks really strong, looks like it's going up, that's the Nasdaq 100 ETF. I can click on my Nasdaq 100 watch list. I can start. I have it kind of listed. Well, it started in alphabetical order, but I think it got out of alphabetical order here. But if you click on I can click on the first one here. You can switch from the market update watch list I use to do the market updates to the Nasdaq 100, and then I can scroll through all 100 Nasdaq 100 stocks and see if I find a pattern I like, see something I like. Okay. Now, some of you don't want to be looking at a lot of charts, and that's not appealing to you, and so that's fine. But I just want to let you know that's the potential there. You can set up different watch lists for different needs that you have, or that you want to, that you whatever you want to keep track of or look at. The FANG stocks, the famous FANG stocks. I have a watch list of the FANG stocks. I even added a few that weren't the typical part of the acronym there, but they were, remember the FANG stocks are Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. But there's other stocks. Microsoft was one that moved really well with the FANG stocks. There's a few others. Even Tesla was at the time moving kind of with the FANG stocks as well. So I kind of built a list of stocks that kind of moved with that group. So anyway, those are just some ideas there that you can use. So let's go into our 98 strength rank. And again, these are all, we're waiting for them to go from hold to buy. And so we're going to set up alerts on them to email us when they go from hold to buy. And all you have to do to set up that alert is just click on this alert button box at the end of the. Now you have to set this up in your. You have to set up a watch list to be able to then set up your alerts. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. We're setting up that 98 watch list so we can set up alerts, email alerts here. So let's just check all these boxes, or check the box here. Okay, I want this to signal when OIIN goes from hold to buy. Click save. And do that for each one. When SYPR goes from hold to buy, click save. When UMC goes from hold to buy, I click save. And when SBLK goes from hold to buy, I'm going to click save. As far as making, there's a question there about making these index tabs kind of permanent. You'd have to ask the office about that. By the way, I'm not Jesse. I'm Jerry McCann. I do the updates. Jesse's the one that did design the software. You could email him or email the company and ask him if he could put those tabs in. If enough people do it, maybe he would consider that in that list there for you. But it doesn't take a lot of time to do. It's and to be honest with you, I like the flexibility because on some of these, I don't have all the stocks in there. There are some stocks they never have a good pattern to trade. I never trade them, and so because I know I never trade them, I don't want to have them in a list where I'm looking at it if I don't, if I never trade it. There's just some charts that are not really for traders. There's some S&P 500 companies they're for dividend investors. They invest in for the dividend, and the chart never goes anywhere, but the dividend's there. And so anyway, so I've eliminated some of those stocks so I can create my own how I want it, but yeah, if you want to petition the company to create these tabs, you could. All right. Now the second watch list I wanted to create was, okay, what if we already get the buy signal? What about a stock like AMPG? This is one that we went over on Tuesday that did go to the buy signal after it's triggered the buy signal there. I could set up a watch list now that I could move this stock over to a new watch list, which will be our trade watch list, so that I can then set up an alert to tell me when it goes from buy to sell, and that could be my alert to get out. And hopefully it's after a big move. Hopefully the stock takes off from here, and then when it starts to come back and goes to a sell signal, it'll trigger that sell, and I'll have this nice big profit off of the move. That's the idea, but just to let you know, you could set it up that way. So let's go under watch list here. We're going to create a new one. Oh, I lost my audio again, I think. Hold on. Okay, I think I got the audio back. Can everyone hear me okay? I had that happen once a little bit earlier today too. I hope that's not a problem because I'm almost done. All right, I think we're back. Let me know if the audio does cut out so I don't talk to myself for 10 minutes. All right. Okay, we're going to add a new tab. And this one we're going to call just trades. These are trades that we're in. Now, I've created that new tab. Now remember, because I didn't want to go through the whole creating the watch list. I wanted to just show you how to set the alert last update. Remember, I put those other two trades under this watch list tab. So let's assume this one's the 98 tab. How do I, so these have triggered, these alerts have triggered this PRTY and AMPG. So they've triggered the buy. So now how can I move them? How can I move them out of this watch list and into my trades watch list? If you click on the ticker symbol right here, so Amplitech Group right here, AMPG, you'll pull up the chart again, and then I just click on Add to Watch List right here. I'm going to just switch the watch list to Trades, and then click Save. And it's moved that over into the new watch list. So let's do the same thing for PRTY. Just click on click on the stock right here, and then click on that green Add to Watch List. We're going to switch it over to the Trades watch list, and then click on Save. All right, now let's go to that Trades watch list here. Click on the watch list tab. Now we're into the Trades watch list. Oh, no, we're not. We got to switch over here to Trade. Here we are. Now we're into the Trades watch list. And we're going to set up an alert right here. It already knows it has a buy signal. So when you click on the alert tab or button right here, it's going to say, okay, you want an email alert when the signal changes from buy. And you could have it go from buy to hold if you wanted to. If you don't want to have to go all the way to sell, maybe you just want to get out when it goes to hold. You could leave it at hold. In fact, let's leave AMPG to get out if it goes back to hold. So we'll go ahead and save that. And then we're gonna on PRTY we're gonna have it email us when it goes from buy to sell. And then click Save. And so when those signals change, it'll alert me through an email. And so that's a way you can kind of just set the process. And to make it even simpler, I mean, that's why we do these weekly updates and go over different stocks. You could tune in, or you don't even have to tune in. You can go over the recording of either the market update on Tuesday or the stock specific class on Thursday. Take a look at what I like and say, well, Jerry likes it, so do I. Maybe I don't know, whatever. I hate to make it that simple because I'm not always right on these, and they're not always going to work. But you could just add it to your watch list, set up an alert to get in because we're waiting for it to go to a buy signal. Once you get in it, move it over to the trades watch list, set it up to get out on a sell signal or a hold signal. And it really could be that simple as far as a system. For those of you that don't have a lot of time or aren't real interested in learning how to trade or how to do it yourself, you could really simplify it that way. Okay. All right. Hopefully that helps. And I know it wasn't the most in-depth training we've done lately, but for some of you beginners, that was huge to be able to see that and know how to set that up so you don't have to spend 2 hours trying to figure it out on your own. So I'm that way too. If someone can show me it, I can learn it pretty quick. If I have to try to figure it out myself, it takes me hours. But hopefully that simplified everything for everyone. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great week. Like I said, we should be back to normal next week on the normal schedule, Tuesdays and Thursdays, same start time we normally do. And so we'll see you next Tuesday for the next market update. Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye now.